Today we are setting up a nano tank using an old pickle jar. I've already placed a plant, some gravel from an established aquarium, and several scuds that I accidentally caught along with the gravel, and snails and all kinds of goodies. We're going to be placing more scuds into it, maybe a fish or two, the babies, so that she can raise them up in a cool water environment, because they do better in a cool water environment. But I also have an air stone for aeration. This one will not need filtration due to the fact that she will have a moss ball, plants, and several filter feeders and scavengers in her tank. We have a check valve. The narrow end goes towards the air stone to the outline. This one goes towards the going out area. This is the one where it actually goes into the thing. So this would be considered the inlet, and this would be considered the outlet, due to the fact that the air goes in here and the air goes out here. The reason why I'm putting a check valve on it is if there's any change in water level, or the pump fails or turns off, or there's a water change going on. If any water gets into this valve, it will not get into the pump. I have the lid that I'm going to put 3 holes into. Those 3 holes, one is for feeding, one is for ventilation, and one is for the line. I have a hole punch that has a file on it. Makes it easier to keep the metal from being too sharp. My billet, which is actually for making arrowheads and whatnot, but it makes a very good hammer for these projects. Electrical tape. I usually use Gorilla Tape, but electrical tape works a little bit better on the larger jars because it's more waterproof. And it stretches better. The line, which I will cut into sections to place. An old straw, which will be washed, and then I will make an ventilation tube, or a ventilation tube, using it. And I may actually use it as a pattern for the other things as well. These hair rubber bands are really great for helping to hold up a ventilation tube when it's larger than the pickle jars that I've had before. I've shown them in other videos if you'd like to go back and see them. By the time I buried him back home, my husband had us in the door. He was freshly shot. In case I didn't show the lid, there's the lid. There's going to be 3 holes. He smelled like soap. There is also the pressure valve. These are very, very important for a nano tank. These reduce the pressure to the air stone. And when you reduce the pressure to the air stone, you cause the current to be lower. And when you cause the current to be lower, it is more normal for the animals, critters, plants that are in there. If you have the air stone too high, you can end up killing the critters because they can't get from place to place, and softer body critters can be torn up and plants can be torn up.
She moaned urgently as soon as she saw me. They must have such a rider.
So that's about what I have. I'm going to go ahead and prepare the lid,
He casually asked.
and I'll be back. Okay, I'm back. This is the exhaust tube, which allows for the humidity and other gases and whatnot to come out. This is a cork for the feeding hole. I had to trim it down to fit, which is why it looks a little wonky. This is the tube going through, and the tape is on either side, and I wrapped it around and up around the edges so that when this jar is closed, this lid is closed on, it will go. Now, this is who's going to have the tank. And as you can see, it's already clarifying after just a few moments of air. But this air current is a little too much.
And you can see the plants.
In order to adjust it, you just turn this valve. Hold on one second while I turn the valve. And as you can notice, the bubbles start to go down as the valve is turned.
Across star, honor student, perfectly nice, white picket fence family, loved by all who knew them.
Now, the reason why I didn't tighten this lid down is so that she can get her small jar and put her stuff into it. But as you can see, there's gravel, there's snails, there's plants. She will have a moss ball and some more snails from her other jar in here. And
I write it down, dumbfounded.
See?
I don't, for the love of God, know what to believe anymore.
It'll be great.
A little note for if you're making your own, don't sniff it.
Actually, when there's an aeration in its sweetness and there's plants and whatnot, it does not smell that bad.
Right now it does. I smell it all the way over here.
That's from the rocks settling. That's established aquarium gunk. That's going to make your... Always use established aquarium gravel if you can, and established aquarium water, at least 2/3 of whatever nano tank jar you're doing. That actually helps to season your jar so that you do not end up with a huge blowout.
My mom made.
Gang leaders, I've never felt this way before. A vial of cold grips my bones. My head is swimming in blood right now.
And here we are over by the lizard's tank, or should I say the dragon, because he's such a drag on everybody's lives.
I pull out of the parking lot and onto the road.
Huh? Get it? You're such a drag on other people's lives.
I've decided I'm going
He's pretending to ignore me.
Just as I experienced in the cell today.
Hey, Draconis, say hi to him.
It's all bullshit.
Say hi.
Will they believe me?
And bye. He'll do his own video later.
That psycho was real.
Yep, there goes the dragon. Bye-bye.
Four-way intersections. Turn on the radio.